Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Your wicked chef here with another beautiful recipe to share with you guys. Speaking about share, I've got something a little special today, and we've got another cookbook I'm be giving away to one lucky viewer. Beautiful book, nice color pictures, easy step-by-step instructions, everyday Asian in just 3 simple steps. You're gonna love it. And speaking about love, I've got me some butternut squash all peeled and cubed up, ready to go, and I've got some shrimp marinating. Boy oh boy, it's gonna be a delicious recipe. More on that book giveaway later on in the video. Right now, let's concentrate on the recipe. You guys are gonna love this one. Curry shrimp, or as some of my other padres may say, shrimp curry with butternut squash. Trust me on this, you're gonna love it. Good flavors, wicked things happening here in the kitchen. So let's get cooking. Let's take a quick look at the ingredients we'll be using here today. Some brown sugar. This here is about a teaspoon of golden brown sugar. It's going to balance off this nicely. Trust me on that one. Caribbean style green seasoning paste or mix, whatever you want to call it. If you're new to Caribbean cuisine and you don't know how to make this, in the description of the video below, I will show you how to make this green seasoning paste. I've got a tablespoon of that here, and that's basically herbs that we use traditionally in the Caribbean, as well as some garlic and different flavors just to make it nice and tasty to any sort of meat dishes that we're doing. I'm going to grate in about 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ginger. I've got 3 cloves of garlic here. I'm just going to crush. Scotch bonnet pepper, Caribbean sunshine. I'm going to use about 1/4 of this. No seeds because that's where most of the heat is going to be. I've got a heaping tablespoon of Madras blend curry powder. It is out of the Caribbean, so though it's Madras curry, it does have a little bit of a Caribbean influence on there. 1 tablespoon of that. A small onion. I've got 3/4 teaspoon, so 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to divide that up, so 1/4 of that is going to go into marinating the shrimp, and half of it is going to go into the actual cooking process. And speaking about shrimp, I've got here 1 pound of cleaned, deveined, and washed with lime juice and water, dry shrimp. So 1 pound of shrimp cleaned up, nice and washed and ready to go. If you bought shrimp with the shell still on it and you want to learn how to devein it, I'll have a link in the description of this video showing a video on how to do that. Some fresh ground black pepper, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon of that, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and over here I have the butternut squash. That's like a medium-sized butternut squash. I got this from my dad's garden, and what we're going to do is that's going to be about 4 to 5 cups once we peel it and cube it up. So these are the ingredients here. If I forgot anything, I'll certainly update you as we go along. I thought I'd quickly show you guys, if it's your first time using butternut squash, how to peel it and manage it. The first thing you want to do, get a nice big heavy knife because it is going to be a bit tough. I want to trim off the top. That's going to go into the garbage. And what I like doing personally is to cut it up into parts. So we've got a nice solid part here, and I'm going to further cut that up to make it easier to peel. But what I want to show you is the center of this here is going to have some seeds and some stuff that we want to take out. So all I'm going to do is go all the way through. And there you go. What we're going to do, we're going to take a spoon and we're going to scoop this part out. So all you're going to do is sort of scoop that out and toss it into the garbage. Now after you've scooped out the insides, what you want to do, and for easier purposes, what we're going to do is use the flat side down on the board, and you're going to cut it up into smaller, more manageable pieces like this. And I guess the same goes for the one solid part here. You're just going to put the flat side down, cut it down the center, and then cut it into parts, which will be easier to peel. Now speaking about peeling, what you're going to do then is to get a sharp paring knife or a potato peeler, and the skin is going to be sort of tough and sort of waxy, so it's going to take a little bit of effort, but all you want to do is to peel off the sort of skin, well, not sort of skin, but the skin that's on the outside of this. Show you one more time. And just discard the skin. So now we have here peeled butternut squash. So as for this recipe, what we're going to do is now cube that further, maybe into about 1/2-inch pieces. So we have lovely 1/2-inch pieces here. And there we go. That's all ready. I'm going to give that a rinse in the cool water, drain it, and get ready to cook. Now, since we're going to be cooking the shrimp for about 3 minutes first, what you want to do is leave it sitting in cool water so it doesn't go discolored while we wait for the shrimp to cook. So I've got the squash all cubed up, peeled and cubed up and ready to go. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse with cool water. Now, what we want to do here is to season the shrimp and let it marinate for about 10 minutes before we get to the actual cooking process. Anything more and it will mean it's going to be over seasoned. It's going to start cooking the shrimp. So what we're going to do here is add a little bit of that salt. So remember I said we're going to use 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here, and in goes the Caribbean green seasoning. And pretty much all you're going to do is mix this up thoroughly and allow it to marinate for about 10 minutes or so. I've got my nice heavy pan here on a medium heat. So in goes that couple tablespoons of olive oil. And I have a medium heat because I don't want it overly high, because olive oil doesn't work too well with overly high heat. And right away we're going to hit him with the onion, which is chopped up very finely, as well as the garlic. Give that a quick stir. And now what I want to do is that little bit of ginger. I'm just going to grate that directly into the pot here. Nice wicked flavors out of that. Give it a quick stir. And now what I want to do, oh, it's already nice and fragrant from that fresh grated ginger. I'm going to turn the heat down to low and let that go for about 2 minutes. After a couple of minutes, your onion and your garlic is going to start taking on a little bit of color. It should be nice and soft, and it's going to have a lot of nice flavors in there. So next up, what we're going to do, we're going to add the curry powder in there. And my heat is still on low because I want to gently toast this without burning it. And all we're going to do is move that around and let that go for about 2 to 3 minutes on that very low heat setting. Now what I'm going to do is hit him with that fresh ground black pepper, because I want that pepper to toast a little bit. And I'm going to add the bits of Scotch bonnet pepper right in there. It's going to kick up the flavor here. Now your kitchen should have that wicked scent of curry and ginger and garlic and onion and all kind of wicked things. I'm just going to quickly give that a stir. I'm going to turn up my heat now to like a medium high, just to toast this a little bit more before we add the seasoned shrimp to it. So all we're going to do now is start adding that seasoned shrimp to the pot. Add a little bit at a time. Give it a quick stir to start picking up all those flavors from the bottom of the pan, and then continue adding the rest of it. Keep stirring it because we want this to cook maximum about 3 minutes, and then we're going to remove it from the pot. But we really want to pick up all that flavor and as well add flavor from the shrimp back to the pot. After about 3 to 4 minutes, what we want to do, give it a quick stir. You're going to notice a couple things. The shrimp is going to start changing color. It's going to go sort of a reddish orange color, as well as it's going to start tightening up and closing up. So what we want to do at this point is to remove it out of this pot and just set it aside to add back later on after we've cooked the butternut squash. So I'm just going to, speaking about butternut squash, this recipe will also work well with Caribbean style pumpkin. I originally called for 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, but I noticed my pot is fairly dry, so I'm just going to add back another tablespoon of that oil. Move that around a little bit, and then we're going to start adding the butternut squash to the pot. Remember, after you've washed it, to drain it dry. And all we want to do here now is to stir this to start picking up more of those flavors from the bottom of the pot. I'm going to hit it with the salt as well as the brown sugar and stir that around first. Now what you want to do is turn your heat down to low as you can get it, because we want this thing to really cook down and get soft to the consistency that we're pretty much looking for. So all I'm going to do, put my lid on there and let that go on that low heat. I'm going to stir it every 4 minutes or so. Just wanted to quickly show you guys a couple things. Once it starts cooking, you'll notice it's going to start breaking down. The edges are going to start breaking down. And that is exactly what we want. The other thing is, notice all that liquid that's naturally forming there? This is why we didn't add any sort of liquid to the pot here. So all I'm going to do, put the lid back on there and let that continue cooking until it's nice and tender. After about 15 minutes or so, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to start thickening up, it's going to start melting away, and there's still a fair bit of liquid in there. So what I'm going to do is, moving forward, because I want this to break down. This is going to be somewhat of a mush, if no better word to describe it as. But what I want to do, I want it to have a little bit of texture, nothing too much, but there's still quite a bit of liquid in there. So I'm just going to leave the pot open now for that sort of liquid to dry down. I'm going to turn my heat up to about medium or so, and let that cook down. It's been going now for about 20 minutes, and it is a lovely consistency here. So 2 things I'm going to do, well, 3 things. Using the back of my spoon, I'm going to sort of mash down on any of those chunky pieces, because I want this to be a cross between smooth and chunky. I'll give it a little bit of texture. But remember, we're still trying to burn off all that liquid. So in now, the second thing we're going to do is to add back all of that shrimp we sort of pre-cooked earlier to the pot. Give it a good mix, just to incorporate all those flavors. I'm going to turn up my heat now to medium high. So we had it on medium for the last few minutes there, to medium high, because I want to burn off all that liquid. I want this to sort of dry up a little bit. Third thing you want to do at this point, here is where you're going to taste it for salt. Give it a taste. This is perfect for me. If you guys want, you can certainly taste it and add a little bit more salt just to balance it off. Lid off, couple minutes, and then we should be good to go. And there it is, guys. Most of that liquid is burnt off. It's nice and thick now. I'm just going to turn off my stove for a second there. That there is some wicked curry shrimp with butternut squash. Hey, let me give it a taste and see what's going on. Ay ay ay, that thing tasted nice. Hey, I just teased Dr. J's little ay 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 there, but you know, the thing real nice, man. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com, guys. This here is a wicked curry shrimp with butternut squash. Always a pleasure to have you guys. Wait a minute, I totally forgot about the book giveaway. Hold on a second. The book, yeah, man. Couldn't forget about that. All you have to do in the comment section below, and you got to be watching this on YouTube, in the comment section below, leave me a message just about, say anything you want, anything you like about the channel and the recipes I've been providing. Leave it, well, down there somewhere in the comment section, and your name will be automatically entered to win this Everyday Asian Everything just in 3 simple steps Lovely pictures, step-by-step instructions. You're gonna love it. Go ahead right now, leave a comment below and your name is gonna be entered to win that book. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. And this pumpkin here, I have some bust-up shred roti. There's gonna be some good times for lunch today.